Hello, everybody. I'm Matt.
And I'm Maggie.
And we are
Hopefully Awesome.
That's right, a positive place on the internet where we nerd out about all the geeky things we love. And today's geeky things include gleeking. Do you know what gleeking is? Am I the only one?
I didn't know.
Let us know in the comments if you've ever heard the word gleek. It has nothing to do with glee. I promise. But I think they were called gleeks, weren't they? This is the act of gleeking. Okay. Everybody, I need to know, was it something that was only brought up at the apartment complex I lived in from 1993 to 1995? Or does it actually exist? All right, you gotta let me know. Let me know in the comments. Don't look it up, Maggie. We're gonna let the audience tell us.
I want to know for myself.
The audience will tell us.
I am not gonna. Okay.
Hey, if this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome to the Hopefully Awesome Show, our weekly podcast from Matt and Maggie. Matt and Maggie. Where Maggie and I recap and talk about all the stuff that happened over the past week in the nerdy world that we know about today. I've gone completely off the rails, but that's okay, because this is the Hopefully Awesome Show, our positive place on the internet with Matt and Maggie.
Oh my god.
Hey, I gotta be honest with you. There is nothing to talk about this week.
I was supposed to say, nerds, you failed us. You didn't give us any news.
I was able to plunder the internet and find us something to talk about.
Yeah.
So we got two news stories, which we're not going to talk about just yet. One about Batman, Matt Reeves, the Batman.
The Batman.
And one about, of course, everybody's favorite,
Avatar.
James Cameron's Avatar. Again. When all else fails,
this is Avatar Watch 2023.
Just bring up Avatar, nothing else. You can always rely on that. But then for our main topic, we're going to do a good one. All right. I want to tease it now so that all you people can hang out, because this is going to be good. We're going to talk about Cloverfield. All right. Now, not necessarily the actual movie, but more of what Cloverfield did, and if it could happen again. So this is going to be a 15-year later look at Cloverfield. We actually did a commentary track for Cloverfield for for this month's Hopefully Awesome Movie Commentary. And in that, we specifically go into, the ARG stuff of me looking up the websites and flipping pictures over and trying to figure out just what the hell this monster is. Is it a lion? Is it huge? Is it the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man? Is it Voltron? I talk about all that. So if you want to hear that, you need to go over to patreon.com/hopefullyawesome, where you can sign up and get that. But today we're going to talk more about the cultural reference of Cloverfield. But before we do that, Maggie, it's time for the news. Yeah.
Can you give me a recall? What the crap?
All right. So first up, we don't have a background for this. The Last of Us premiered on HBO Max and HBO, and we will talk about it next week, because we were recording this before it premiered, so it premieres in like 6 hours, so that'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to watching it.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear our thoughts on the first week, check out the Hopefully Awesome Show next week, when we will talk about the first episode. Also, and we do have a background for this, earlier this week, a new trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania dropped, and we did a trailer reaction to that. He was only like 7 days late on it.
Yeah.
But we talk about MODOK, so go check that out. Definitely makes me excited for the movie, for sure. But we have a whole reaction where we talk about our hopes and dreams for this movie. Oh man, I can't wait to record Smallville after this. It's gonna be totally unhinged.
I think your problem is you need to eat.
Maybe. I don't know. I had 2 bowls of Reese's Puffs cereal. All right, Maggie. Now it's time. First story. Via Collider, Matt Reeves is set to meet with James Gunn and Peter Safran for the Batverse.
I'm Batman.
So,
I'm Batman.
I gotta tell you, man, this is a great news story. All right, I'm so glad we have plenty of time to talk about this, because there's so much news in this.
Oh, really?
And
give me the details, Matt.
I'm giving them to you right now. I'm gonna give them to you hard. Okay.
All right. Do it now.
All right. Reeves. Matt Reeves signed a multi-year deal with Warner Brothers Discovery that supposedly kept his Bat-Verse safe. However, once Gunn and Safran were hired to make tough calls in the name of a unified story, we all feared Reeves' vision for The Dark Knight wouldn't fit in DC Studios' 10-year plan for films, TV shows, and even video games. We were relieved. I don't know why they're saying we. Like, I never once thought that the movie that just made over $1 billion was in any kind of danger. I was never worried about that.
Yeah.
We were relieved when Reeves confirmed this week that he's still working on the Batman sequel. The filmmaker also intends to expand the Batverse with The Penguin, a series starring Colin Farrell that's going into production this year. That doesn't mean Reeves has free reign over his Batverse, though. He still needs to sit down with Gunn and Safran to lay out his long-term plan. As Reeves tells us, quote, they, Gunn and Safran, have been great. We're actually supposed to meet in the next few weeks because they want to talk to me about the broad plan, and then they want to hear the Batverse plan. We're just together. We're just getting together to talk about all of that. Look, I'm excited to hear what they're going to do. The Batverse thing, as James has said, and as Peter has said, is kind of its own thing they're letting us do. End quote. Gunn and Safran's first order of business as co-heads of DC Studios was to unify every production into a single coherent storyline. That's why they've already made controversial decisions like scrapping Wonder Woman 3 and dismissing Henry Cavill's Superman. So it's exciting to learn that Reeves will be able to keep building his Batverse disconnected from the larger DC universe. It seems like Gunn and Safran could be adopting DC Comics' Elseworlds strategy by letting writers create stories set in different timelines as long as they don't clash with the main canon narrative. As Reeves tells us, the upcoming meeting has a main goal to explore the Batverse, Gunn and Safran's 10-year plan, and determine if there are any competing stories. In the director's words, quote, I had this dream for the way I wanted to play out. I wanted that to play out, and that's part of what I'm going to be talking to them about in a few weeks. They're going to be talking to me about what they're doing in their 10-year plan, or certainly what's in the near future as well, so that we can understand that we're not, it's an air traffic control. We don't want to be crashing into each other. We want to support each other. I'm super excited. I'm really excited to hear about what they're doing and to be working with them. It's going to be cool. That's it. What do you think? I'm telling you, so much news in this.
Oh my
Man,
God.
so much to just break down, right? They are planning to have a meeting.
I can't. My mind is gone. It's blown away about all this news about the Batman.
Did you say snooze?
News.
Sounded like you said all the snooze.
All this news.
All the snooze about
all
Batman?
this snooze. All about Batman.
All the snooze.
All the snooze. About the Batman.
Yeah. Isn't that right?
Snooze.
Batman. I'll reach around. Do you think we're going to get... Let's break down what we think we're going to get in DC with
Nothing.
James Gunn.
Nothing.
Do we get more of the Joker with the guy that played the Joker?
Jared Leto?
Yeah. Do you think he talks about reach arounds going forward? Do you think that's happening at all?
No.
Do you think there will be another Batman in the DC Prime universe?
Yes, I bet.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who... yeah, probably, right?
Yeah. More than likely, yeah.
So, I mean, honestly...
Timothy Chalamet is going to play Batman.
That's not the worst thing I've ever heard. All right? I wouldn't... That wouldn't be my first pick. But, I mean, that's not the worst thing I've ever heard. I'm trying to think who else he could play. He'd be a good Martian Manhunter. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. Do you know?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Man, glad we're podcasting about that.
I can't wait to hear about this meeting.
You know, I mean, they said we're supposed to hear about it in January, and it's already the 16th. Like,
we're already about halfway through this
we're
month.
over halfway through this month.
Over 50%, guys.
Yeah. So, I mean, where the fuck is our news, James?
Get your crap together,
God.
guys.
First The Rock,
Just
now
open
you.
up. Just open up the fandom.
Dude, I was looking at Time Hop, which I don't know why I'm telling you. You already know this. I was looking at Time Hop yesterday, and I had retweeted a tweet from 8 years ago from The Rock that said, just met with the president of DC Studios. Looking forward to getting to work. I was like, Jesus, we've been hearing about Black Adam forever. Was it worth it? No. I mean, it wasn't bad.
It wasn't horrible.
I don't want to dig into that.
All right.
I just thought it was funny that
I mean,
Tom Hop
it's going to be interesting whenever we do hear the details of the DC universe and how they're going to treat Matt Reeves' Batman.
I mean, it'll probably be, you know, if I had to guess, I would say it'll be like, you know, like, fuck, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to say here. I feel like this has happened before, where like there's a property. I think it was DC. Like they have their, I think it was just Joker and the Zack Snyder stuff. Like we had our big universe, but then we also had the Joker doing its own thing.
Yeah.
And like I think it's kind of what we're doing. I don't want like a ton of those, and I don't see James Gunn like going that route.
No.
Because I feel like it just gets confusing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already going to be a bit confusing having an ongoing Batman universe and an ongoing Joker universe, right? Like that's a little confusing.
Stupid.
I mean,
Joker one.
Granted, there's only 2 movies so far. I mean, they mount. Who knows? They could do another one. You know, maybe what's her name? Lady Gaga gets a Harley Quinn spinoff. You know, who can say?
No.
What if they do like, okay, think about it. It could be like a Harley Quinn movie, right? But like we introduce like the Birds of Prey into it. All right.
Wait, they've already done that.
What? Wasn't Edgar McGregor?
Ewan
McGregor. Yeah.
God,
what?
man. Yeah, he was the villain in it.
Yeah. I need to go back and watch that again. I don't know. There's not really a lot to say about this story.
No, there isn't.
I am excited to see what they do. What other... Man, before we move on. That was the wrong button anyway. You was going to do the drums. So, what other Elseworlds would you want to see?
Let's see here. I mean, there's so many characters in DC. Elongated, man. There we go.
Now, wait. Jesus. Now, would you want to... I'm talking about Elseworlds, so like disconnected from the main DC.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, a Green Lantern one would be pretty cool.
Disconnected from the main DC? Mm-hmm. Why do you not want to connect it to it?
Well, it just meant like there you have a Green Lantern in the main story, and this is a different.
No, well, okay. How about this?
Black Adam. There we go.
Jesus. Let me rephrase it. All right. Are there any story arcs that you think could not be done in the main universe that you would like to see in an Elseworlds tale?
Court of Owls.
No, they could do that in Batman. Like, I'm talking like Marvel Zombies. Like, we're never going to get Marvel Zombies in the MCU. Mm-mm. Right? Unless it's from another world.
Yeah.
Right, which is probably the plan.
Yeah.
So, like, is there anything like that in DC's continuity that you would want to see?
I don't know anything like that about DC.
There's one called Gotham by Gaslight.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's Batman.
Yeah.
But he's in London in the 1800s, and he has to hunt down Jack the Ripper.
I want Japanese Batman.
So wait, are we just going to do a bunch of Batman movies?
Yes. All the Batmans.
Just every version of it. I mean, honestly, it'd probably be good. Like, it'd probably work for them. That'd probably make a lot of money.
I know.
It's just Batman.
I know what would work.
What?
Batgirl, the movie. Just bring back.
Just do it. Yes. I mean, if we're going to get that god-awful Flash movie, like, you know, and it's going to suck when it's decent. I don't want it to be. But I do want it to be, you know? This is what they call a yin-yang situation. I'm at odds with myself.
No, yin-yang is Pete.
I'm at odds with myself with this whole thing.
That's not how that works.
What I'm saying is like Death of Superman.
Yeah.
Like, we're probably not going to get a Death of Superman.
No.
So, like, would you want to see, like, just a standalone 3-part Death of Superman movie?
Yeah. I mean, that sounds great. But I don't know. Like, I wish I knew what their vision was already.
Yeah.
You know? They're taking too long.
They are.
January's over 50% done now.
I feel like we've just circled back around to the first thoughts we've had. All right.
I did it on purpose.
Next story. Via Variety. James Cameron.
Is back.
It's back, baby. All right, listen to this shit.
We said last week we wasn't talking about this anymore.
Well, no, this isn't about Avatar. This is more about James Cameron coming out of pocket. All right.
Oh.
All right. Now, here's the thing. Do I agree with what he said?
No.
We'll have to see at the end of the story because the answer, I think, will surprise you. All right.
All right.
Via Variety.
Mm-hmm.
James Cameron praises Avatar 2 nearing $2 billion. Quote, enough with streaming already. I'm tired of sitting on my ass.
It's not
Unquote.
our fault that you're sitting on your ass.
Listen. This is the rest of the story. Cameron spoke with Variety during the official digital pre-show for the Golden Globes, reacted to the Avatar sequel's box office dominance. The Way of Water has earned over $1.7 billion and currently ranks as the 7th highest grossing film ever. With its international box office total over $1.19 billion, the film ranks as the 5th biggest international release behind only Avatar, Avengers Endgame, Titanic, and Avengers Infinity War. That means Cameron has 3 of the top 5 international releases in history.
And guess what? Titanic's being re-released back into theaters soon.
I don't know, in February. Did you see the cult classic Titanic returns?
I don't. Wow.
Jesus, are you okay? Did you just break a tooth?
No.
What the hell?
Ricola.
Oh my god.
Whenever I started to talk, it went to my teeth, and I went.
Dude, what if you had like chipped like your front tooth? Would we have had to like stop recording? We couldn't do that. I'm checking.
Screw you.
All right. I'm not thinking.
I'm okay.
Quote. I'm not thinking of it in those terms, Cameron said when told that stat. Quote, I'm thinking of it in terms of we're going back to theaters around the world. They're even going back to theaters in China where they're having this big COVID surge. We're saying as a society, we need this. We need to go to theaters. Enough with the streaming already. I'm tired of sitting on my ass. Later in the interview, Cameron addressed moviegoers who text during films at theater, saying they're missing the point. When we go to the movies, we make a deal with ourselves to have undivided attention for a couple of hours. It's about immersing yourself, choosing to commit to that ahead of time. End quote. All right.
I agree with him about the text messaging thing, but I understand emergencies happen.
No.
No.
You leave. You leave the theater. Listen, if you got an emergency going on, you're going to have to leave the theater anyway. So just leave the theater.
I'll never
first,
forget the time this woman picked up her phone right when the movie started. I can't remember what movie it was. And Matt, I swear, I thought she was going to kill her.
What'd I do? I don't remember this. This wasn't Mary Poppins 2, was it?
No.
Okay. Don't even get me started on Mary Poppins 2.
No,
Shit.
I can't. I don't think it was Star Wars. It was something else, but like.
Wait, wasn't it a Spider-Man movie?
Maybe.
Wasn't not the last one, but the Far From Home?
Probably.
I think it was that one.
She picks up the phone right as the movie starts.
I think I just glared at
and
her.
Matt's just like, oh my god.
For real, it was like
she pick up her phone.
It was like that scene from Scott Pilgrim when they all just look.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like it was that. And I was like, milk and eggs, bitch.
I was so scared he was going to do something to that woman.
Chicken parm's not. What is it? Vegan. That's
Vegan. Chicken parm's not vegan.
Chicken's not vegan? But, no, okay. Here's the thing. Okay. There's two, I'm gonna make two statements here. Okay. First one, COVID related. All right. The C word, YouTube. Don't take us down, please. Yeah. So COVID, like not being able to go to the movies during COVID because you don't want to die. Yeah. That's a good thing. That's smart.
That's a very, very good thing.
Yes, you should.
You do you, baby. You know?
I mean, we didn't go to theaters forever.
Yeah.
It was literally until we got like triple vaxxed and, and then they were like, I mean, you're probably not going to die. I mean, as long as you're, you're probably not.
Wash your hands.
And I was like, sweet, let's go on Jurassic World Dominion. I'm joking. I mean, we did watch it. But, yeah, so there's that piece of it. Okay. Now, outside of that piece, okay, the other side.
Yes.
I kind of agree. Like, and people have been taking this out of pocket, saying like, or out of context, like, apparently James Cameron, can't sit on his ass while he's watching a movie in theaters. He stands around, or, like, well, I can either sit on my couch or sit at the theater, and like, yeah, I think you're missing the point of what he's saying.
He is a filmmaker, and we grew up during the time that, hey, we didn't have all this fancy stuff. I told this to my students the other day. I said, because I explained to them what old TVs were like.
Yeah.
That they weren't flat, that they were square. They were called box TVs.
Tube TV. When it had like the big ass.
And I was like, I said, you all have no idea how easy you have it now.
You sound like an old woman.
I know. I have to be the old woman at school. How easy you got now just to pop on your tablet or whatever, and bam,
whatever you want to watch.
Yeah, whenever.
You don't even have to rewind the tape.
No, and like thinking back to when we were kids, before the internet made it big or whatever, and going to the movies was a big deal.
Yeah,
it was a whole shebang.
Yeah.
Begging your parents to get you some popcorn or a drink or a candy at least.
Let me watch Jungle to Jungle.
And I mean, I know some people have still instilled that in their kids as they've gotten older.
Yeah.
This is a fun time. We're going to enjoy it. Make the most of it.
Yeah.
But like, streaming's kind of spoiled us in some ways.
Yeah. Well, I agree. What's the point you're trying to make?
I mean, I can understand. Like, I'm just saying, from our age, like, understand what he's saying. Like, I'm a filmmaker. I made this film. I want people to see it the way it should be seen on a big screen. Instead of everybody sitting at home on their butts watching.
Half paying attention.
Yeah, half paying attention.
I think that's the main thing here. Is that what I feel like he's trying to say. I mean, he's not. This isn't the freaking Bible.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, anybody can have... he can say whatever the hell he wants. And maybe he means it more specifically, like the actual physical representation of the theater. Like on the giant screen and, best quality and blah, 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 all that stuff, right? I think, looking at this, he says, they're going back to the theaters. We're saying, as a society, we need this. We need to go to the theaters. And then he says enough with the streaming already. I'm tired of sitting on my ass. Now, what I take from that is I'm tired of sitting at home doing nothing.
Yeah.
Right? I'm tired of turning on whatever, half paying attention to it while looking at my phone, or, gotta stop and, eat, or, somebody calls and we got to pause the movie, or, I mean, a perfect example. Remember when we watched Zack Snyder's Justice League and it took us 9 hours to watch it?
We had a child that was under the age of 2.
Yeah. I mean, she was not even 1 yet when that came out.
Is that right?
Yeah.
God, I feel like it was just last year we watched it, man.
She's a baby. It's 2021.
Okay.
But yeah, so, like, I agree with that sentiment.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. I'm 100% all for streaming.
Oh, yeah.
We love it.
Too. Like, there's pros and cons to everything,
Yeah. But, like, I also love the theater. I love going and shutting out everything. And it's a lot easier to just, immerse yourself in this when it's black around you. It's dark. And there's just this giant screen, this loud system, and, it is not appropriate to be on your phone.
Yeah.
Like, that is the best way to watch a movie because you're there, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's this communal aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we all, there, as a society, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it goes back to sitting around the campfires and telling stories, right? Church. The reason we go to church is the people that go to church, like it's a part of being a part of that, you know, concerts.
Yeah.
It's, you know, you're not just experiencing this on a one-to-one basis. You're getting this experience with all of these people that you don't even know, and it makes you feel like you're a part of something.
Yeah.
You know, like you belong to something more than just the only you. You know?
Yeah. Perfect example is whenever we went and watched Yuri on Us.
Yeah, exactly. Like, loved Yuri on Us at home.
Yeah.
But in the theater, amazing.
It was amazing because, like, sometimes where we live in this area, but now it's becoming more and more like popular.
Yeah.
But like me growing up like an anime, like I was like in the 1% of the people I knew.
It had to be a secret. Like you couldn't
and
really
like
talk
I couldn't talk about it. But like heaven forbid cat got out of bag that you watch this, you got made fun of.
Yeah. You watch cartoons?
You watch the Japanese stuff. But like,
why they make the girls look so hot?
but whenever we went and watch Yuri on Us in theaters, and you know, I knew that there were other people out there that liked it.
Yeah.
But like when you're in a theater filled with people that have already watched it X amount of times as you have, and you, even though it's in Japanese and you got the subtitles, you know exactly what's happening.
Yeah, yeah.
And everybody at one point, you know, goes,
yeah,
you know, and it's great. Just had that collective mind going, and like everybody understands what you're watching.
Yeah, you all experience it together.
Yeah.
And like, you know, being as isolated as we have been for the past 2-3 years, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I do agree, you know, people are saying we do need this. Yeah. You know, like we do need to have these experiences together. Yeah. Now, does that mean that we shouldn't have streaming? Absolutely not. No. You know, I mean, that absolutely we need streaming. And I gotta tell you, like, we've been watching Better Call Saul, right? Streaming. Yeah. And like one of the best stories I've ever watched. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And also, we don't have cable. We rely on streaming services. Yeah. And I'm glad that we do. Yeah. Because I think I'd go insane if we had cable.
And how many movies would we not be able to watch if we only could watch movies that go to the theaters? I mean, just from a strictly financial standpoint. Yeah. I mean, going to a movie is expensive.
Yeah, it is stupid expensive.
Yeah. And so, like, you know, we just watched Smile over the weekend. Yeah. And, like, we didn't get to go watch it in theaters. Now, probably a lot of that had to do with COVID, but we probably wouldn't have paid to go watch it, you know? Yeah. But, like, we were able to watch it on Paramount Plus and enjoyed it. Yeah. You know? I mean, it was good. Yeah. It was fun. We're not going to get into a breakdown of Smile. No. But, you know, or even Glass Onion. Yeah. You know, I mean, one of our favorite movies of the year last year. Yes. So, I mean, I feel like you just, there's both. Yes. You know? And, like, there's nothing better than being in a room, like, and watching, you know, Endgame. Yeah. You know? And, like, the moment that Cap gets the hammer. Mjolnir, yeah. You know? And, like, the whole
everybody
crowd
loses
just
their
bursts.
mind.
Yeah. And then, I mean, the portal scene, and he finally says Avengers Assemble, and everybody's just fucking cheering. Like, nothing beats that feeling, you know? But yeah, I can also still watch that at home and still bawl my eyes out, you know? So it honestly, I feel like they just coexist. Yes. And, you know, I think that, I think it's stupid that we keep having this conversation of, like, the death of theater. Like, it's not, I don't know. I could be wrong. I could totally be wrong. I don't see the theater ever going away. No. You know?
I don't think it will either.
Because there's always going to be people that want to share in that. I mean, look, Spotify exists and concerts still happen. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I feel like there's something inherent in human, like in being a human, that needs to have connection with others.
Yeah. A community experience.
Yeah. And even, I mean, the movie is a perfect place where you can have that connection and experience with others without having to even step out beyond yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't have to go up to somebody and sit next to a stranger and have this experience together.
Yeah.
You know, like you can be an introvert and still be able to enjoy that communal experience and then just leave, you know, not have to be with anybody, you know. So my favorite experiences going to a movie was when I was alone, like Prometheus, you know, watching that alone in a theater with, you know, a bunch of people I'd never met before.
Yeah.
That was awesome. You know, like I love that. And so I think that's the thing, especially for us nerdy movie people, that like, you know, we know when we go to a Marvel movie that we're going to have hopefully a good group of people to watch it with.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know. I feel like I understand what James Cameron is trying to do, right? I think he's being a bit louder than needed.
Yeah.
But I guess at the same time, if he was, you got to think about it from James Cameron's perspective, right?
Yeah.
That is who he is as a person.
Yes.
Is a filmmaker.
Yes.
And if there is something showing that the thing you love could be dying, right? Then he may feel obligated
to,
as the, you know, the biggest filmmaker in the world, right? Just from a financial standpoint.
Yeah.
He may feel obligated to champion that, right? Yeah. And I mean, there are worse things to champion than going to watch a movie in theaters. You know what I mean?
It's true.
So I think that's the thing. Yeah. Honestly, all the people I saw getting mad about it, I was just like, I don't know, guys. I mean, weren't we just like, wasn't everybody on the other side of this when Turning Red only went to streaming?
Yeah.
Weren't people like complaining that Disney wasn't putting Pixar movies in theaters anymore?
Yeah.
And now we're fussing at Cameron for saying that you should be going to the theaters. It's like, what are we complaining about, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, I saw that on here. It was there was some discourse about it earlier this week and just kind of wanted to bring it up. I'm definitely more on the side of, I don't know. I love them both.
I like them both. See, that's why whenever I was making my statement, you couldn't figure out where I was leaning towards. It's because there's pros and cons to everything.
I think they belong together.
I think so too.
And I mean, one could argue that, you know, only the biggest commercial successes can work now.
Yeah.
Which I disagree with because, I mean, look at Megan. You know, like it did huge numbers and that's not a part of any franchise. That's not, you know. But you know, that's all we're gonna get is like the mega hits, and then the other, you know, smaller films will only go to like Netflix or Amazon or whatever. And I mean, though that overall could be the case, truth, but there's always gonna be theaters showing these movies. You know what I mean?
Well, like
the Fathom events.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, like when Spirited came out on Apple TV.
Yeah.
And we went to the movie theaters and we were like, wait, Spirited was in theaters?
Yeah, they did a poor job of letting us know that because I would have went and watched it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's where I'm at. Honestly, I think that, you know, I don't think you're a bad person if you don't go watch a movie in theaters at all.
No.
I think you're a smart person for saving money, you know? And if you're somebody that only wants to experience movies on the big screen because that is the way you prefer to watch it, then I think that's great.
For you.
Yeah. And if you can afford it and do it, then go for it. Yeah. You know? But like, I don't think there's any reason for there to be a cultural war between streaming and theaters. It's like the console wars, you know. Play on freaking Xbox, play on PlayStation, play on Nintendo. Play on
who cares?
Goddamn Apple TV if you want to. Like, I don't give a crap. Can't we all just enjoy the thing we enjoy?
Yeah.
And just be happy that we're both enjoying video games or we're both enjoying movies or we're both enjoying shows. Like, do we really have to fight each other? I mean, fuck, there's plenty of other horrible things to fight each other about, you know. We both agree movies are good, so why do we have to argue about it? You know,
I know.
That's
crazy.
it. This has been Matt's soapbox
rant.
Yeah, that's right. But you know what else is right? A word from our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by patreon.com/hopefullyawesome.
That's right. At the $5 tier, you can have access to every episode we make ad-free and have your name listed in the credits of every video. At $10, you'll be able to get access to our all-new exclusive shows right here on patreon.com/hopefullyawesome. Those include Hopefully Weekly, a weekly show where Maggie and I catch up on all the things that's happened over the past week, both in our life and in the world around us. Family Game Night, a weekly show where Maggie and I will play a variety of board games, from Blockbuster Party Game all the way to Fast and the Furious heist game, whatever that is.
Highway heist.
The Hopefully Awesome movie commentary that we'll do once a month, where Maggie and I will watch one of our favorite films and then record us talking about it over it. Kind of like a mix between Mystery Science Theater 3000 and, just us goofing off and talking about nothing related to the film. And lastly, Matt plus Maggie. This is our monthly show where Maggie and I talk about our relationship. I don't think we'll be giving any advice, but hey, tune in. It'll be fun. And if you want to go above and beyond at the $25 level, not only do you get everything that we've just talked about, but you also get a verbal shout out as our Patreon producer of the entire month. All this and more.
So sign up at patreon.com/hopefullyawesome today.
All right. Thank you for that word, Matt and Maggie. We will be sure and do those things. And remember, if you want to get the show ad free, you can head over to patreon.com/hopefullyawesome, where you can get that today. So now it's time for the main topic. Main topic. So today we are, I think I'm actually done with the iPad. We're going to talk about Cloverfield, everybody. And let me just say, when we put this image up on the TV, when we was prepping the show, I about lost it because
he's crying.
So nostalgic for this image. I can't. I was not really crying, but like I could have been.
Yeah,
but
that's why I said you really weren't.
So 15 years ago,
mm-hmm.
this year, in let's see, tomorrow, so what, Wednesday is going to be the 18th. So 15 years ago on the 18th, Cloverfield came out. No, you're good. And honestly, we just kind of wanted to talk a little bit. There wasn't really a huge thing that happened this week. There was Golden Globes.
Yeah.
But we didn't really want to talk about
we
Golden
really
Globes.
don't cover that stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
So.
And so really, we just kind of wanted to have a chit chat about movies post Cloverfield, and just kind of see where this takes us. So that's kind of what we're talking about. So I'm going to cue it in for the clip out later. For YouTube. So 15 years ago, Cloverfield premiered, Maggie.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember the way Cloverfield first came out. Jeez, you okay?
15.
Did you chip a tooth?
Again. 15 years ago. Let's see. Man. Well, what year was that?
2008.
Oh, I was in college. I probably wasn't really aware of this movie being in theaters.
How dare you, Maggie?
Matt, I was a baby. I was an 18-year-old. Weirdo.
You as an 18-year-old,
Yes.
not just 18-year-old.
I know what you meant. Sorry, everybody. I
joking.
just screamed into the mic.
You're my wife.
I know.
Anyway.
Anyways, I probably, just being honest, I probably wasn't that aware of it because I was a silly teenager. But I do remember watching it whenever it was available to rent.
Yeah.
And where we got together, I was like, I don't think I've watched this. And we started, I was like, oh yeah, I have watched it.
Yeah. And you wouldn't be quiet about it. You just kept talking about, oh yeah, is this the part where I was like, Maggie, fuck. Listen. This is Cloverfield. This is like church to me.
Check out patreon.com/hopefullyawesome for a commentary on Cloverfield.
That's right. We do have a commentary track where we talk all about the Cloverfield experience.
Yeah, and I say all that all over again. Hey, is this the part where?
Yeah, I swear to God, don't do that. Anyway, so Cloverfield, of course, the first trailer for Cloverfield premiered in front of Transformers.
Yeah.
The first Transformers movie, the live action.
I didn't see that in theaters.
Oh my God.
Matt,
God.
I was a girl. Like, I could care less.
Girls can like nerdy stuff too.
I know.
Transformers was for everybody. All right. They played Linkin Park.
Where was the girl? Where was the girl Transformer at, Matt?
That robot one, the it was like, I think that was a girl, wasn't it? No, I'm kidding. It's a Michael Bay movie, all right? Get it right. Anyway, I'm just saying everybody can watch it.
I know,
not
but I was
saying-
just saying I was a silly teenage
Maggie,
girl.
you're being sexist. All right?
I'm talking about myself.
Take a step out because Dr. Feminism is here. All right?
I'm going to pinch your boob.
See? That's sexist.
No, it's not.
Anyway, sorry.
God.
I'm joking.
I'm going to leave.
Anyway, Transformers comes out. And like a minute before the Transformers movie starts, we get the first teaser for what would be known as Cloverfield.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at the time, we didn't have a title. It was just 1/18/08. It was all we saw. It was the date of when the movie would be coming out. And it flickers. It does, I think it's like Paramount. And then it says Bad Robot. And then it's like, shh, he's coming. And it's the Rob's surprise party.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they're like, oh, have fun in Japan, Rob. And then,
Yeah,
you know,
Rob.
yeah. And they're like, man, oh, looks like you left town just in time. Whoa. And then the fucking Statue of Liberty's head comes flying out.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what the hell is this movie? And then it stops and Transformers plays. And I was like, I mean, I'm excited for Transformers, but what was that? You know? Now, I'm not going to get into all of the stuff between then and the movie coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about after it.
Okay.
Basically, Cloverfield was a surprise.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't know the director.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Matt Reeves had been doing some stuff. I mean, the Batman's Matt Reeves, you know.
Yeah.
He had done some stuff, obviously. Felicity and stuff. Yeah. We knew who J.J. Abrams was. But, like, not really any big actors. And granted, it's a found footage movie. What?
I was going to say, I didn't know any of those people then, Matt. So
You weren't even watching Lost then.
no, I wasn't.
Oh, Maggie, let me tell you. The date, 1/18/08.
All lost numbers.
The only numbers in that is 1, 0, and 8, right? 108 is the amount of time it took for them to hit the button on Lost in season 2. And they had 108 minutes to count down. All right. Yeah. So, I mean, there was a lot. Okay, I'm not getting into that. What I'm getting into, go to the commentary if you want to hear that. What I'm getting into is a surprise movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Super secretive. Can we ever have that again in this day and age? And furthermore, this is the, what's it called? The opening statement of like the argument.
Yeah.
Right.
It's opening statement. Yeah.
Can we have that? And should we have the ARG side of these movies? ARG, alternate reality game, for those that don't know, where you dig around online finding answers and clues that point to different things in the movie. Huge for Cloverfield. Like the viral marketing of Cloverfield. That's what pushed this movie. But even movies like The Dark Knight had ARGs. But I feel like in a day and age of Q, you know, QAnon.
I knew what you
know
meant,
what I mean?
honey. Yeah.
I feel like the ARG has become the downfall of society, right? Like not everybody, but a lot of people have created their own ARG, but they think it's real, all right? And so, like, can we have a movie like Cloverfield again, given both of those extremes? Yes or no?
Would it be cool if it could work? Yes. I don't think it would work now because there's somebody always finding a way to figure out what a movie's about, what the people look like in the movie. I mean, we had shots of Brie Larson as Captain Marvel in her green suit, and everybody was flipping out like, why does she have on a green suit? And
That's not Marvel.
That's not Marvel. You know, and
Moth. Wait, is Marv L the Kryptonian version of Marv from Home Alone?
Jesus, man.
Anyway, continue.
And like you said about the ARGs, you know, I mean, I remember like getting on dial-up internet, you know, and you're like, oh yeah, this blah 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 movies coming out. Like, it says like check it out on blah 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 www blah blah blah. You know.
I mean, even outside of that stuff, like whysoserious.com.
Yeah.
And like you'd have to follow like a dollar bill from somewhere and go find it.
Yeah. And
Slusho.
Yeah.
The Slusho website.
Yeah. And like, as much as we would like, I think would like for it to work, I think there'd be people that would just straight up ruin it for us.
Yeah. I mean, yes, there's always going to be trolls for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is since day one. You know, I mean, remember when Jesus was on the cross and there was literally a troll next to him? He was like, you ain't Jesus, or whatever he said. I don't know. It's in the Bible. Look it up. You know what I mean? Like they were trolling him then, you know? So trolls are with us, right? But I guess like that's always going to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my thing is almost like it's the Jeff Goldblum question, right? You thought about whether or not you could, you didn't think about whether or not you should.
Yeah.
And like in this day and age, given just how information is used against people, you know, to turn people against others. And, you know, I mean, the past 3 years, I think everybody, I'm kind of tiptoeing around it, but I think everybody can kind of figure out what I'm talking about. Just misinformation running amok.
Yeah.
You know, is the idea of creating a fake world supposed to be real within our real world. Is that something that should be done now?
Yeah.
You know, like I wish I loved, you know, going to the Dharma stuff, trying to find all the Easter eggs between all the J.J. Abrams productions, you know, Tagrato, Hanzo Foundation, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And like all that stuff was fantastic. And I feel like that kind of stuff has kind of evolved into like what the shared universe now is.
Yeah.
Whereas like we had all this like ethereal universal stuff, right? That made movies tangentially connected, right?
Yeah.
Like Lost and Cloverfield, not in the same universe, but based on this ARG, they were.
Yeah.
Right? But now there's almost not a need for that because we are just straight up building an actual shared universe with like Marvel and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's almost like, I don't know if it, I don't know. I feel like it could, but like just the dynamics of film have just changed so much since Cloverfield came out, which was only 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you know, there was no shared universes back then. Yeah. Cloverfield, literally nothing from nothing. It's just called Cloverfield. That doesn't even mean anything, you know? Yeah. And like this image that was the poster doesn't even happen in the movie. It doesn't. We never see this. Yeah. This is the aftermath of the movie that you watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like, for all intents and purposes, should not have worked. And yet it did, right? Yeah. Because it caught us all off guard. Yeah. Closest thing I can think of that even got close to this, and I can't even remember how long ago this was, but it was Split being a secret sequel to Unbreakable.
Yeah.
Like,
I can look up the year real quick.
I mean, that's really about the only recent one that I can think of, because most everything is just tied together in one way or another.
This is 2016, so it was 8 years later.
Jeez, that's wild.
I watched that in theaters with you, didn't I?
Split? I think so.
It was November. Yep, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Which Glass ended up just awful. That movie was terrible.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of anything I know of.
Well, and it's like nowadays everything is so tied to an ongoing franchise of something.
Yeah.
You know, like it can't just be The Mandalorian. It's Star Wars The Mandalorian. Yeah. You know, it can't just be, I don't know. I don't even know.
Thank goodness they don't call the show we're watching
Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul.
I'm glad that they don't call it that.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not at this point. But I mean, think about Matt Reeves. Like Cloverfield comes out, it's huge, and then he does several other movies. But then he gets a hold of Planet of the Apes, right? So he gets thrust into a franchise, and he does Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War of the Planet of the Apes, both fantastic movies.
Yeah.
And then he does Batman, and it's like, he did a very original thing,
Yeah.
and now he's doing that.
Yeah.
And even Cloverfield, they tried to turn it into a franchise where it could just be standalone stories, but they were still tied together with a name, But even Dan Trachtenberg getting to direct 10 Cloverfield Lane goes on and gets a Predator movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's like they mine these really good movies that aren't tied to a franchise and then make them make franchises.
Yeah.
The guy that did Safety Not Guaranteed over Jurassic World.
I mean, think about A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
That first one could have just been fine on its own.
Yeah,
but you know what? No, we got A Quiet Place too.
And a universe. They're making like a spin-off prequel, I think. Like it's becoming, it's like, don't get me wrong, I'm not against shared universes and franchises. I love those things.
Yeah.
Like you look at our list from this past year, almost every movie on there is tied to something, Glass Onion.
Yeah, Glass Onion's part of Knives Out.
Yeah. And so it's just I don't know, like I don't want to be a naysayer. Like I think that we definitely can still get movies that are not connected to a greater universe.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we do all the time. Smile. Smile's not.
I don't know.
We'll get a sequel to Smile.
I guarantee we'll get a sequel.
I really want the Megan Fast and Furious crossover to actually happen. I would really, really love that.
I mean, it tickled the lady that wrote it. It tickled her to death. She's like, "This is great."
What was that other horror movie we watched recently that we really liked?
I'll see. There was The Menu, and I know it wasn't.
Maybe I'm thinking of The Menu.
The Menu is really good. Yeah. Do not make a freaking universe out of that. You killed Voldemort. That's it.
Spoilers alerts. In Harry Potter, they killed Voldemort.
Yeah.
Sorry, that totally broke my brain.
I know. I showed you a video of Voldemort this morning.
You did.
Is that the guy from The Menu? Yeah, it is.
It looks a lot like Sloane from Aliens. Sydney.
You're my daughter.
God, what are we talking about? This is like we're just all over the place with this.
Yeah.
I really, I don't know. I guess it just kind of bums me out.
Yeah.
That like, the days of Lost, the days of, getting online, having theories, I mean, granted, we still kind of do that with Marvel stuff, but, like Marvel inherently has a roadmap. Because it's based off something that exists.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have at least an idea. Like we all figured Secret Wars was coming, and then what do we get? We get Secret Wars. And we're like, okay, so we're building the Secret Wars.
Yeah.
And like Lost, it was like, I had no idea what the hell was going on.
I didn't either. And I watched it like after it had stopped,
I mean, there's like a giant foot with 4 toes, and it's like, what the hell is that? Is that part of the Statue of Liberty?
Yeah.
Is that now we got a head? Oh my God, is Lost and Cloverfield in the same universe?
Is Alias a part of that universe?
I mean, they do get Slusho, and Everybody plays in one of the episodes. So anyway,
anyways,
wait, did I just miss J.J. Abrams? Is that actually what is going on? I just missed J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, you do. You miss him. You miss him terribly.
That's all it is, isn't it?
You miss your JJ.
Super 8. It's a great movie. The prequel to Cloverfield. It's not. I wish it was.
Say it's not.
So apparently we're going to be getting a sequel to Cloverfield. A legit sequel.
Oh, yeah. I remember you like going off the wall bananas about it. Or you
like an actual sequel.
Yeah.
Not 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Because you're like, Maggie. I was like, what? You're like... I was like, I hate when you make this look on your face and you say my name and I don't know whether to be very, very concerned or very, very excited.
Because it could either be a Cloverfield sequel or a new Mario game or a $3 Funko Pop.
Or somebody died.
I mean, that's usually it.
I don't know how to read it. And I tell him, because he makes this face and I'm like, I wish you would just know that the look on your face worries me. I don't know how to feel about this. Please talk to me. And like, it takes him like a few minutes and then he tells me and I'm like, okay, I was worried for nothing. So,
so let me throw this out there.
Oh boy.
All right. This is, I think, the last point of this conversation.
Okay.
So movies and time, obviously, are cyclical.
Yeah.
Is that the right word? Cyclical? Am I saying that right?
I don't know. I've never heard of that word.
You never heard of cyclical? Cyclical.
Bowl.
Can I see your phone? I'm just gonna type it in real quick.
Here, hold on, let me unlock it for you.
All right. So cyclical. Wait, what was I? It's like
I love this.
cyclical, occurring in cycles.
Okay.
Here, let's make sure that's actually what it sounds like. Ready?
Cyclical.
Yeah, nailed it.
Icicle.
No. All right. So, time in movies, the fads, right? It's all cyclical.
Yeah.
What's old is new again.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, is there going to come a time when this could happen again? Like, it couldn't happen right now.
No.
Will we as a society return to a place where we want the unknown and not the known? Don't you dare sing Frozen 2.
I'm not.
Okay. I thought you was going to go into the unknown.
I was looking at the fact that we could be like 60, 70 years old and Viv be like, yeah, this movie, Mom and Dad, you'd love it, blah, blah, blah. And there's this stuff you can look into on the internet, and blah, blah, blah.
The internet won't exist then.
Oh, well. Internet
Web
2.0.
Web 0.7 or whatever.
And we'll both be like, they've done this before. And they're like, no, this is, no.
No, this is a giant monster.
They've done this before, Viv.
But no, for real though. Like, do you think we'll get to the point where people will kind of get fed up with needing to watch, 30 different things and like just enjoy standalone things that are are wholly new and not just like
a
rehash?
Yeah. I think so. Because one of my coworkers approached me. Well, she asked me if I had watched one of the recent Marvel movies. And I can't remember what it was. And I said, yeah, it was really good. And she's like, man, I wish I could watch it but I can't because I can't get past whatever. Like, it was even like
WandaVision or something? Loki?
No. Like phase 1.
Oh, God.
Phase 1 or 2. She just couldn't get past this one movie because I think she's just bored.
Dark World, probably.
I can't remember. And I looked at her. I said, listen, just start with this. If you want to make it to Infinity War Endgame, start there. I said, believe me. I said, all you're seeing is set up for the Avengers through those phases. Yeah. I said, just start there and just go with it.
Yeah.
And what she did, she said, guess what I did this weekend? I said, what? She said, I finally got to watch Endgame. And,
wow.
I said, good. What did you think? She said, it was really good. I said, wasn't it worth it not having to watch X amount of movies? And she said, yeah. She said, thank you for pushing me to not watch all of all of those.
Yeah.
And I think we are going to get to that point. I
think sorry, go ahead.
Because, if you look back at I know this is going to be weird, but the 50s, 60s, even back then there were movies that were, I'm not talking about just Gone with the Wind, Matt, longer than 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing.
Yeah.
If it was a musical, it's going to last long because it's got to tell the story.
Yeah.
If we got to
Ben-Hur.
We got to make the costumes look amazing.
Yeah.
The music's got to be amazing. And because if I whenever I go and revisit something like Meet Me in St. Louis, I'm like, oh my God, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
And then today, here I was complaining about Avatar being 3 hours long.
Yeah.
But yeah, back then that was a thing. And everything was on its own.
Yeah.
Either they adapted it from a book or what have you, or it was just something they thought up on the spot.
Yeah.
And I think we are going to get back to that. Like, I mean, there still probably will be franchises out there.
Yeah.
As always. But like at some point we're going to need, my brother said this at Christmas. He said that he's like, I am so tired of these movies that don't have an original idea. And I pushed him. I said, we just watched one, Spirited.
Yeah.
And he looked at me. I said, no, I'm joking. And I'm not joking. It's Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds.
It's really good.
It's a musical. It's great. I said, it's probably one of my favorite Christmas movies.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I'll watch it. Which I don't know how his verdict is. But like, people are missing those original thoughts.
Yeah.
We don't we just want something out there. It's its own thing.
Yeah.
It's not tied to anything else. It's going to be what it's going to be.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I definitely agree. Definitely agree with you. I think that the kind of catch-22 of it is that, you know, I don't know if it's just our generation or just the times we're in, but I think people are really like longing for familiarity because things are so topsy-turvy all the time now. And I feel like that's kind of the reason that franchises and shared universes and all that has really exploded recently. I mean, reboots and revamps and all that, because you get to watch something new, but it's what you've seen, you know?
Yeah.
Like you get to be familiar. I mean, why do we rewatch shows? You know, why do people watch The Office over and over, or Parks and Rec?
Because there's a part of us that lacks that familiarity.
Yeah.
Also,
because you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and also it helps you with anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you how many animes I've watched, probably more than twice.
Yeah.
Since like my 20s.
Yeah.
Because it brings you comfort.
And so it's...
And even though you know you enjoy the story and the characters.
Yeah.
But there's a part of your soul, your heart. It's like, oh, you know, this is nice. I know where this leads, you know?
Yeah. It's familiar.
Yeah.
And so I think they almost have to go together. Like, I feel like we can't necessarily get back to being able to have a movie like Cloverfield.
Yeah.
Until we reach a place in the world where things kind of just settle down a little.
Yeah.
And like,
chill out.
And I mean, I feel like I could be wrong, but I feel like the world has not been like this forever. Like, or at least we've not been that aware that it's been like this.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, I feel like even in, I don't know, when Cloverfield came out, it didn't feel like the world was
on fire.
Yeah. I mean, and it's so divided.
Yes.
You know, and like everyone has just very, very strong opinions one way or the other.
Yeah.
And on everything.
Yes.
You know, and I just feel like that's kind of feeding into this need for something familiar.
Yeah.
And that's why we're getting movies with 15 sequels again,
yes.
you know. So I think it just kind of has to go together.
Mm-hmm.
That once, you know, society calms down.
Yeah.
You know.
Never.
Then, you know, people will be ready to, you know, explore new ideas and new thoughts.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know if that's going to take, you know, I honestly, there are so many pieces of that puzzle. I mean, there's diseases, there's politics, there's money. I mean, there's so many things that play into that. And I don't know when that can actually happen.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, at this point, this is getting way off topic of movies. But like, at this point, it almost feels like it would take like a big existential event to really unify us.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not trying to get all crazy or anything, but you know, like aliens coming down or something. You know what I mean? Like something that would really like unify us as a people. You know, like beyond our social differences with each other. Like I feel like it's going to take something like
moon,
that.
The moon will help us.
And I'm not even saying like, you know, hopefully nothing bad, but I mean like, you know, you said the moon, literally going to the moon.
Yeah.
You know, like in the 60s. Like that was a unifying event for, at least for America, but
But
honestly,
also
the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I feel like something like that really brings back the triumphant spirit of people. And I feel like we haven't had that. You know, I feel like we're all longing for something to just make us happy. that we exist.
Yeah. No, it's true, man.
I mean, you know, like when was the last time you said I'm proud of humanity? You know what I mean? Like
I don't know. I've said I'm worried about humanity a lot.
Right? I mean, that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've been proud of like groups,
Yeah.
you know, but like
Proud of what they can do.
yeah, but like as a whole, like when was the last time I was happy to be
A human?
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Proud to be a human. I don't know.
It's just, I mean, you know, it's just interesting.
Yes.
It's interesting to think about. And I want that day to happen. Like I want that day to arrive. Right now, it feels like almost impossible for us to get there, which is the way the world is.
Yeah.
But maybe that's what it takes. Maybe it takes us going through this feeling for like the next generation to make it better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like maybe Viv, like our daughter, you know, maybe she, not just her, but like, you know, the kids of our generation who's like just fed up with everybody's bullshit. Yeah. Like everybody's, you know, even the people we agree with, we're just fed up with just constant bullshit.
We don't want to hear it anymore.
And so maybe it just takes our kids being like, yeah, you know what? Bullshit's stupid. Let's go to fucking Mars or something. You know what I mean?
I mean, it could happen, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, I teach young ones.
Yeah.
I just hit the light. And there are times that I'm severely worried, but they're itty bitty. I mean,
yeah,
it gets better with time. But like, there are times that, you know, you can see the good in them.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know, this is the good that we need, you know, in the future. And I hope and I pray that this stays with you and everything. And, you know, and that's, I don't know where I'm going with this. I feel like a crazy person ranting.
No, I'm with you.
But
I can bail you out if you
bail me out, please. I can't remember where I was going with this.
Fine. It's like it almost feels like things have to get bad to get good.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, the Depression happens, and then, you know, World War II, and then we get into, you know, the space race.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then freaking what's it called? I can't even think. The war that they had. Vietnam. You know, and all of that turmoil around that time. And then, you know, segregation and all that. And then we get into the 80s and 90s where like things seem to be more
optimistic.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing good.
Yeah. You know, I mean, think about the Olympics. Yeah. You know, like, I mean,
we got Michael Jordan.
Yeah, exactly.
Doubles. You know? We got Space Jam.
Yeah, and I mean, even on a smaller level, like, you know, Y2K and of course September 11th. Gosh. But then after that, again, we kind of had a pretty quick swing back up, and then of course the recession and, you know, all that stuff. But, so maybe this is the swing. Maybe this is just a longer swing than what me and you are used to because we've only been around since the late 80s.
Yeah, and
like, you know, maybe this swing is taking longer, but that means we also get to have a longer upswing,
hopefully.
Know? And like, maybe, I mean, it has to pass.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, in the history of the world, it's never stayed one way forever.
No.
You know, I mean, you look at every society, every generation, like, not just in America, like
everywhere.
Everything, you know, nothing lasts forever. And so maybe one day we can get another Cloverfield movie.
Get your crap together, society.
All right, everybody. That's going to wrap it up for us today. We hope you enjoyed this conversation. I feel like that was a really good conversation.
Yeah, it was.
And then we went out on a good
crazy.
joke. And then we got on a good joke. I liked it. It was great. Good job. Hey, this is the Hopefully Awesome Show, our weekly podcast where Maggie and I revamp and recap all the things that's happened over the past week. If you would like to get this show early and ad-free, you can head over to patreon.com/hopefullyawesome, where you can get that, as well as other exclusive content like our Cloverfield commentary and our weekly shows that we also do. But if you have no bucks to toss our way, that is totally fine. Just a simple like, subscribe, comment, rating, all of those things. We greatly appreciate it. Helps all the algorithm gods to push us forward to other people like you. If this is your first time hanging out with us, hey, thanks for stopping by. We hope you enjoyed this. This is a little bit different of an episode from what we normally do.
It was a bye week.
Yeah, there wasn't much. But, I'm proud of us for making it work somehow anyway. But we will be back again next week where we'll talk about something, hopefully. We'll find something. We'll at least have The Last of Us.
I will dig up something. How about next episode, if there's no news stories, I'll put up all these pictures of random dolls. There we go.
God, no.
There's a threat. It's out there. No.
What kind of dolls? Like...
No,
the
like
scary
Annabelle.
dolls?
No, like Annabelle.
Okay.
More like, the stupid crap I always talk about. Like the person that posts up all those special dolls that I talk about.
That you're giving me nothing.
On Instagram that I've told you about.
Like Disney?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any adjective there would have been helpful. You're like, those dolls, those special dolls.
The special dolls,
like, that could be
the
anything.
expensive ones. I'm just putting a thread out there so that the news will be more exciting next week.
Oh my God. Hopefully we'll not talk about dolls. But that's going to wrap it up.
Put a thumbs up in the comments if you want.
A thumbs up in the comments?
Yeah.
Not on the video.
Yeah.
Just on the comments on the video.
Yeah, the comments. But also hit the like button. Hit the like button if you want me.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you all next week. Thanks for watching, as always.
Have a hopefully awesome day.
Bye.